Would you attribute everything to technology?
Technology has definitely helped to increase the reach of a salesperson. Now we have tools which can tell us that in a particular account is that term being searched. The need analysis is rather being done at an office by a salesperson is being done by a tool.
Now you're actually figuring out there is a need and then you're reaching out to them.
Yes. Omnichannel that has been open for sales. There is no over-promise you can do today.
Is this informed consumer? Consumer could be a single individual or an enterprise or an entity. Is this a challenge for a seller today?
It's not a challenge if you keep yourself updated. I need to also understand my competition. Who doesn't have stress? You came early morning today. I use AI tools for a lot of creating a lot of social media posts, which would take me half an hour to think right, which can be done within seconds. I would say companies would like to improve the engagement.
How is hiring for salespeople today?
In my personal view, it should be more of a referral. Money makes the world go round. 2 went into HR, 1 went into admin, I went into sales. There is not enough time to make all the mistakes and learn from your mistakes. Self-care is very important. The selling has to be purpose-based.
Selling has changed so much in the past 2 decades. Now, what could be the next change in selling? AI or more? The answer for future always stems from the past experiences and learning. So let's start collecting experiences, learning, views and thoughts of senior sales leaders. Welcome to Deep Talk Sales Season 1. I'm Lavanya Parvat Reddy, host for Deep Talk Sales and founder and CEO of SalesGuys.in and Behold.social. In this episode, we have Mr. Aashish Satyarthee, who is National Head, Key Accounts and Alliances at United VCare. United VCare is a Deeptech mental health platform. More about it and how selling happens there is something that we can hear in Ashish's words.
I'm Aashish Satyarthee with over 20 years of experience in operations, sales, partnership and alliances. Started my journey way back in 2003 with the BPO Daksh, which was bought by IBM. Worked for US Airlines there under operations, got promoted as an assistant manager quality. Take care of transactional quality, all the call quality. I've been into various verticals like BFSI. I've worked with Barclays. I've worked with Intellnet Global, another BPO. I've also worked with organization. My sales journey primarily started with Agilent Technologies, which is a OEM, which is a equipment manufacturing firm. They produce quality chromatography equipments. I was the first hire for the inside sales business that they started, and my sales journey practically started from there. So in the year 2010, I joined Agilent, started the inside sales business. Over 9 years that I spent with Agilent, there was a subsequent increase in the number of sales that we were able to close through inside sales. So that was a new channel which was starting. Not many organizations were experimenting with it, but Agilent vision was that if their major client and customers stop buying from Agilent, then what will happen? So that's why the inside sales business started. Inside sales primarily was sales over the phone. So that was a telephony sales process that we started. In the 9 years period, we were able to start the same kind of arrangement for different businesses like consumables, equipment sales. Our team size grew from just me being there in the team to a 6-member team for the service and AMC selling. And the major milestone that we achieved was we were doing 25% of the total business that the services team were doing as a direct team as well. So that was a major movement in the inside sales business and my career, because that was first time that I was doing sales, and I continued it for almost 9 years, mentoring the team, hiring the team, working on the SOPs, the process. And when I left, it was a pretty big team and a big size ticket business that we are doing. Post that, I joined Zing HR. Zing HR is a HR tech organization. Uh, it started 8 years back. Uh, I joined there as head of partnership and alliances. Worked in tandem with various verticals like marketing, partnership, sales. Uh, we closed. Uh, so I was with Zing HR for almost 2.5 years. Uh, the wallet size of the partnership channel business was almost 2 crore ARR business, which is annual recurring revenue. Currently, I'm working with United We Care as head key accounts and alliances or partnership. United We Care is a deep tech organization which is focused on mental health and wellness globally. We are offering mental health and wellness packages under Employee Assistance Program, which is called in the HR fraternity as EAP. Our aim is to touch and improve the holistic wellness of at least 2 billion people within 2 years. And hopefully we'll be talking more about in the follow-up sessions.
Welcome Ashish to Deep Talk Sales. So Ashish, you are in sales and your career though spanned for 20 years. I think you are in sales near about a decade.
Yeah.
So from the time you started selling to till now, I think starting 2010 to 2023 now, there are many changes that
Correct.
happened in the way we sell.
Correct.
Right from the way we prospect, right from the way we source leads, to the way we approach our customers, to the way we close the deals. So how has been this experience for you? For you, how selling has changed for you and your team?
Yeah. So just to give you a brief, I started with Agilent Technologies as an inside sales. Now inside sales was a new thing at that time, where organizations were investing and they were kind of experimenting if the sales can be done through telephones also. So earlier all the selling were direct selling, so it was a change in the selling technique. I was the first person to be hired for the inside sales business for Agilent. From there, I was there with Agilent for almost 9.5 years. Within that 9.5 years, there was a tremendous change in how we used to approach earlier for the sales. So it was all need-based. We had limited resources. There was a telephone and a phone number, and we didn't used to inquire what kind of personality that person would be at the other end. So we were shooting in the dark in terms of the personality of that person, his buying pattern, his need, the budget. So primarily the basic skills of sales are that you need to see or understand the need of the customer. You need to understand whether they have the budget. You need to understand what is the timeline or the deal closure timeline. You also need to understand the buying patterns in terms of when do they buy and what is the buying cycle. So for a smaller organization, buying cycle would be smaller in the sense that there are less people involved in the sales cycle. For a bigger organization, there is budgeting done at the beginning of the financial year, so they have limited budget for particular things to buy, sell stuff. So you need to understand that psyche of the client that you are talking to. So when we started, it was just that you pick up the phone, you call the other person. If he says yes, good. If he says no, then okay, move on to the next prospect. Why we started inside sales? The management thought that if the bigger clients, who are our direct clients, stop buying, then what will happen to the organization? So we need to make sure that we are in touch with the smaller clients, which we call best of the rest. And the easiest and cost-effective way was through telephone, because we can't have the direct channel. A direct channel may be involved, account manager may be mapped to 5 accounts, but he cannot be mapped to 5,000 accounts. But that is the advantage that you have through telephone, that you can reach out to 5,000 accounts, right? So with that strategy, we started the channel, and
it's not just value, but volume also matters.
Volume also matters.
So instead of keeping all our eggs in one basket,
yes,
it's like distributing them.
Definitely. So because what happens is, the market goes up and down. So if there is a recession, for example, the bigger customers try to hold on to the money that they have in the kitty, and they stop spending on stuff like services and all. So in that case, we need to manage it with the other accounts. So maybe one bigger account may be giving you 1 million worth of business, but 15 different accounts combined can give you the same volume of business as well, right? So with that strategy, we increased the team. We were around 6 people when I left in inside sales, and we were doing close to 5 million USD worth of business, which was 25% of the total business that was there from the entire sales and service department. So that strategy worked. It gave me a lot of insight into sales, because that was the first sales job that I got into. Otherwise, I had the experience of customer service, talking to people on phone through the BPO channel. So that also helped me to evolve as a salesperson, because I knew how to talk to a person, how to engage a person over the call. So that helped me to actually build up a relationship over the phone without seeing a person on the other side, and close the deals as well. From there, I moved into Zing HR. So if I talk about the changes within the span of 9 years, there was also tremendous change, though internet was coming up, social media was coming up at that time. So we started understanding the persona of the people that we would be talking to, right? So we started researching more about the organization, whether they are spending more on research, would they be buying more equipment, so there would be a need of service and AMC, so that we started scoping the accounts, rather than just calling the people for the first time that they have bought the equipment, so they need to buy a service. So that was a transition from just giving a cold call to actually doing an account-based mapping. So we need to list down the hierarchy of the person, who is above him, who would be the decision maker, who would be the influencer in this case. So we started mapping. So this was a change in the approach from just calling a person that we have the number for and asking would he be able to buy. We started mapping the organization.
This is something same as even people who are out on the field.
Correct.
So not
same.
The same with the inside sales team.
Yes. Okay. So the approach changed from just calling a person blindly to first mapping the account, checking where he sits in the hierarchy, whether he would be able to influence our decision or not, whether he is the decision maker or we need to talk to a decision maker. So in our case, maybe a QA head or a plant head, since we were doing chromatography instruments, which is a high-tech instruments that are used to find the details in at the molecular level or element level. So whether the plant head or a QA head would be the decision maker, or the CEO of the company or the founder of the company would be the decision maker. So we started doing the account-based mapping.
Okay, so you would be, you would agree with me, no? We are able to research better with the advent of technology and social media platforms.
Correct.
Earlier, while internet existed from 2000 onwards,
yes,
effectively available for salespeople, but post 2010 it was more.
We were all learning.
Yes.
It was a learning phase, how to use LinkedIn, how to use Facebook for marketing, how to use different mediums. For example, now Instagram is being used. So if I tell you the change what has happened over the years within the sales approach, a huge part goes to digital transformation. There is a lot of social and influencer marketing which is doing the rounds. There is a lot of research and customization of solution based on your need is there. So what happens is there are a lot of AI tools which keep on researching your buying pattern, your need, your geography, your location, what product would suit you better, and then our marketing approach and the targeted approach to sell a product also changes.
So marketing gathers all the inputs
Yes.
by tracking, the
Correct.
consumer behavior.
Yes.
And so is the input passed on to the sales team, who would enhance their research based on
Correct.
the inputs before approaching the
Yes.
customer. So would you attribute everything to technology first?
Not at all.
That
Not at all.
the change, all that happened is because
So
of the technology
has
and its
definitely
adoption.
helped. Technology has definitely helped uh, to increase the reach of a salesperson. Right today, I can go online. I can see what is the duration of that person in the organization, whether he would be able to take decisions. What is the hierarchy above him, below him? What is his buying pattern? How he thinks on a social media? Whether the company is buying more, company is expanding, what is their thought process? For example, let's take the most recent example. So now we are into mental health and wellness. The program that we offer is under employee assistance program. So now we have tools which can tell us that in a particular account is that term being searched. For example, a HR person is looking for a vendor who can offer them employee assistance program. He goes online, he puts in stress management, he puts in psychology or psychological or psychologist appointment, he puts in mindfulness. So the system is able to track that a particular organization, people are researching on those keywords. So that's a need for us, right? So the need analysis is rather being done at an office by a salesperson, is being done by a tool. So once I know that the people are researching for these keywords, I can approach them and offer my solution, which shortens my sales cycle, because now I know that people in that organization are looking forward for that particular solution.
So you are saying earlier you give a call to understand if they have need or not.
Correct.
Now you are actually figuring out there is a need and then you are reaching out to them.
Yes. So that shortens your sales cycle. It's a targeted approach. I know these terms have been searched on the internet by people in a particular location. I can target that location. I can approach the decision makers there that this is what is being looked out for. This is a solution that suits your requirement. So we can discuss and we can close a deal. So the sales cycle drops. The duration of the sales is shorter. We can do more sales because this is a targeted approach.
Targeted and more effective
Correct.
approach also, because when we already know this guy has a need or this
Correct.
company has a need,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to ask them
Correct.
and
Correct.
tell them what you have to offer and
Correct.
how you are going to solve their problem, right? So
Correct.
it's a more effective approach, no doubt. So this is definitely a big change that I think we all have seen,
The other change.
fueled by technology,
Yes.
one, and coupled with social media platforms,
Correct.
any of them,
Correct.
depending on the product that one is into. If it is a B2C, then there are other platforms. If it is a
Correct.
B2B, then there is another platform.
Correct.
So you are saying something.
So apart from that, there is Omnichannel that has been opened for sales. Earlier, there was only a channel for direct sales, right? So the person goes, pitches, closes the deal. That's all. Now there are online, there are mobile apps which are available. You may have a showroom or a shop where people can come and experience the product firsthand. People have access to knowledge also. So they have access to a knowledge base. You can just Google out anything and everything, right? So if I want to buy a product, I can go on Google, I can search or do my SWOT analysis rather than a vendor coming and giving an analysis. I can do my SWOT analysis based on the research that I've done online. I can figure out which product suits my need. I can go online, see the categorization of the product, see the efficacy of the product, see what kind of ratings people have done for that particular organization, and then make an informed decision. So my consumer is also very informed. right? So if I talk about my reach, they would have already searched that which are geographies I am into. So I can't lie, right? So this has also helped organizations to develop their sales capabilities,
Okay.
right? So there is no over promise you can do today in today's world because everything is online, everything you can research. So to come back to the omni-channel presence, so now we can sell it online, we can sell it to a D2C customer, we can sell it to an enterprise. You can have experience centers where people can come and experience your product
Before they
actually buy. With e-commerce, you can order 15 different products, you can try it at home and send it half of them back, right? So now consumer wants to have the similar experience in all the buying decisions, right? So everybody, if I talk about our present organization, so everybody wants to have a demo first of the instrument. They want to see the app, look and feel of the app. They want to experience the app first before they want to decide on a buying pattern and giving it to their employees.
Something like a proof of concept that you
Proof of
give it to
concept.
them, or a pilot, run a pilot for a couple of employees before.
Generally what we do is
rolling out.
for an app-based service, we can give a demo login. They can use it for a week, they can distribute between their friends and stuff. They can go through the content. It's the same app, it's just that you have a demo login. You may not be able to book appointment, but you can see the entire process of booking an appointment of experts and stuff. So you have the first-hand experience, what is the user experience, how you feel with the content after listening to the content, viewing the content. So I'm talking in terms of a wellness program. So for example, there is a yoga or a meditation video that is there on the app. You go through the app, you inherit that practice, you start doing it, you feel that yes, it can bring about a change in the other people's life also, because this is what our aim is. So keeping that in mind, customer wants to experience the product before buying.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, is this informed consumer? Consumer could be a single individual or an enterprise or an entity. Is this a challenge for a seller today? Because a while ago you mentioned that today you cannot overcome it, overpromise, or show something which doesn't exist. Probably could have been possible out of a sales call in the past, but now it is not possible.
Yes.
And more so, he's aware of even your competition products, not just your products. Earlier, this much of knowledge did not exist with the consumer. So you are the first guy to give your product service information, and then he will later on explore what alternatives before actually deciding which vendor. So today everything is happening even before you reach. Then
Correct.
Is that a challenge for salespeople?
It's not a challenge if you keep yourself updated with the information about your product first. So before I go out and sell, I should know my product inside out. I should know what is the best, I should know what is the worst, I should know what we are working on, right? Because consumer is aware. I can't lie on his face. If it's not there, I'll say it's not there. If it's in the making, I'll say it's in the making. I need to also understand my competition. So I as a salesperson need to do a thorough research, which was also the case before also, but now it's more important because consumer also knows everything. So I need to go with that mindset that he knows everything. I know my product better. I have first-hand experience of the product. I know my competition. I know where I am better than the competition. I know where I can compete on the same ground with the competition as well. So as a salesperson, I also need to do my homework before going out to the consumer. So if I have done that, then I can interact. I can communicate better. If I have not done that, then I'm in a big soup, right? So yes, as long as you're doing your homework better, it's not a challenge. It's a good thing that the consumer knows about things, because he would have also researched that what is best that I can offer and what is maybe on a comparative ground with the other vendors also. then it's all about how you can engage them, how you can show them your purpose, because a salesperson needs to be aligned to the purpose of the organization so that you can make a good sale. So I always believe that, what is your purpose of selling that? It's not only selling and meeting your quota and getting your bonus. No, it's not that. So my company's purpose is to touch a billion lives by improving their overall wellness. Do I align with that thought? And that also motivates me, right? When I'm talking to anybody. For example, I went to a mobility organization yesterday. I had a face-to-face meeting, so I went and met them. So our conversation started with stress, right? So who doesn't have stress? You came early morning today, you had a stress in terms of commuting, this is a new place for you, the setup and everything. You had your own level of stress, right? You can't get away from stress, you can only manage that stress, right? I had to come here, I have to send my kids to school, I need to do my yoga session, 30-minute yoga session that I have to do. I have to also make sure that, the traffic is smooth so I reach here on time. Everything corresponds to anxiety and stress in today's life, right? I can't choose how my boss will behave. I can only choose that if he's shouting, how I process that information, take the best out of it, go back, put my focus in. So how would I get into that mode? This is the purpose of my organization, to bring you there, right? This is what I'm selling. I cannot take away the boss from the equation. I can only teach you how to manage that situation. Maybe some breathing exercises, maybe focusing.
So that's what exactly United
Weekend
Weekend
does.
platform does.
Correct.
Cool.
So we have a lot of experts who are trained on all these areas. So you can book your session, you can book individual sessions, we do online sessions, and then they teach you all this. So there are life coaches, there are yoga instructors, there are art therapists. So all these experts are there on our application, and that's part of the package depending on what the institution wants and stuff.
Ashish, where do you see AI making a change in the lives of salespeople or business in general, for salespeople again?
So there is a lot of talk about AI taking up your jobs. AI is not taking up your job if you are using AI today. So using the technology is very it's like a perquisite for any and every position that you are into. For example, I use AI tools for a lot of creating a lot of social media posts, which would take me half an hour to think, right, which can be done within seconds. I can tweak that as per the information that I want to portray, and then I can put it on the social media. So I am using AI in my favor, not against it. Similarly, AI would be very beneficial to you to understand the psyche of a buying customer, right? You understand the demography, you understand the psychography, you understand the geography. So this is all help which a AI tool is giving you. So AI is beneficial if you are using it. You should not be critical or against AI. In our present organization, as we said that we are a deep tech company. When I say deep tech, we are highly engaged in an AI model, which we call as Stella. She is a CBT trained AI driven bot. So you can put different emotions there. For example, I just need to type angry and she understands what angry means. She will jot out a plan that how you can counter that anger. What are the steps you can take to come out of that situation? And in case you need to talk to an expert, she can guide you that which expert is an anger management expert, and then you can book a slot with that. So she understands 40 different emotions. She can talk to you in 29 different languages. And now we are also developing an interface, and that'll be a Stella 2.0. So we are heavily invested in AI as well. So I look at it from a sales perspective also, and from a consumer experience perspective also, that AI is going to stay, and AI is the future. So we need to be working with AI rather than against AI.
So would it call for any downsize of sales teams in an organization? Because if the initial interaction for most of the businesses can happen with the AI chatbot, and do you see a downsize of sales teams there?
I would say companies would like to improve the engagement, increase their market size. People who are using AI to the advantage would not lose anything, job per se. People who are not open to accepting AI as the next big thing may have a difficulty surviving the market. So when I say downsizing may happen, but if you are adaptive to the change, you will be able to survive. So when telephones came into existence, did we downsize the sales team? Yes, we did. Did we increase the impact? Yes, we did. But there were more jobs created who were closing deals on phone rather than going a direct or doing a direct sales, right? So the companies are increasing their reach by adopting technology. So by adopting technology, since the reach is increasing, they may hire more people who are accepting the technology. So I would say yes and no to the question. Yes, if you are adaptive to the changes, you inherit those changes and then go out in the market, increase your knowledge base, work with AI, you can sustain and survive. If you don't, then obviously that's a challenge, and which has been with any and every technology.
Got it. So how is hiring for salespeople today?
So hiring for salespeople, again, there are a lot of social media tools to pick out candidates. There are job portals, there are LinkedIn's of the world. But we still believe that, in my personal view, it should be more of a referral, because then I know the person, I know the capability of that person. I know what motivates that person, and these are few things that you cannot judge while you do a 30-minute interview and hire a person, right? He may not be able to sustain, he may be very vocal in the interview for 30 minutes. You can practice, there are people who make you good to appear in the interview, but
And
they can't
of
change
course,
the character.
AI also came to their rescue to prepare well for the interview
So
today.
there are a lot of AI tools which gives you a lot of questionnaire, they give you audio inputs, they give you dialogues, and you can just mug it up and you can just dish it out. But the character of a person is only revealed when you work with him. How often they can come out of a situation, whether they have a zeal to exceed in whatever target that you're giving him, how they approach it, whether they are very stressed all the time or they have a different approach towards sales target, how well they are engaged, how well they take a competition within the
So
team.
with senior position hiring also, you would say referral?
I would prefer referral, but then I would also, it's mix and match. For a senior person, you may not have that kind of a group where you can find senior people. You can go with the experiences also, because now all the experiences are available. You need to see the tenure. You need to see which all positions they have been working on, and depending on that, you can take a decision. But I personally prefer to have a reference. A reference works better. It has worked better for me, but I'm open to people from outside the group that I have also, because then they bring in a different perspective also. So it's a catch-22 situation. I would prefer referral, but if not referral, then I would definitely go on social media, explore what exactly they have been doing in past, what kind of ideology they follow, what kind of business they have been into, and then probably pick my candidate from there.
So Ashish, as per you, what motivates salespeople?
That's a very good question. Money makes the world go round. So they can be different motivations to different characters in sales, right? One, it can be the euphoria you get by closing deals, meeting targets. It can be the bonuses that are associated with the closing deals. It can be personal development as well, because in sales you meet a lot of people, you interact with different verticals, you are engaged with marketing within the organization, you go out, you talk to different people, different genres, different age groups. So in terms of motivation, it can be self-motivated, it can be motivated by the monies that you are making within the sales fraternity. It can be your personal development goals that you have by knowing more about the product, various verticals. It can be reward and recognition that is associated. It can be peer group achievement, right? So, for example, if I had a group of 5 people, 2 went into HR, 1 went into admin, I went into sales. So, where we are today, it will not only be in terms of the position, it would also be in terms of your social status, it would be in terms of how much you are making in a year, because as I said, money makes the world go round. So there can be different motivation, you need to find that motivation. So as a manager, as a supervisor, as a leader of a sales group, you need to find what motivates individuals per se. Because somebody would be motivated with just the money, you show him the money and he'll just run after it. Somebody would need more reward and recognition. Somebody would go for the power that comes with, or the authority that they have once they are into sales, so they can make decisions. So they want to be in a position to take decisions, make decisions at their level.
So whether the organization is able to give them that path
Correct.
to achieve that power and authority motivates them. So
Correct.
each of them have different motivation factors.
Yes, and you see that within all hierarchies of different enterprises, a salesperson is the one who jumps the hierarchy very soon. So all the CEOs, CTOs, all CHROs probably not that much, but all the other departments lead, who's leading the department, has in his career at some point done sales, right? So that path you see in sales, the growth trajectory, more in sales. So that keeps us motivated, and that has been a personal motivation for me as well.
That's great. That's I think most of the senior sales leaders who are in sales for quite some time have a similar thought.
Correct.
Whomever I have
Because the best
spoken
thing
to
is
so
you know
far.
how to negotiate, right? So you can negotiate for positions, you can negotiate for salary, perks, hikes.
So where do you see salespeople taking learning from others?
Very important. Very important.
I invited you today to the show because I believe in learning from experiences and others.
Correct.
who are in the business for quite some time.
So there is not enough time to make all the mistakes and learn from your mistakes, right? So you need to learn from what is the best practice that the fellow salesperson is doing. Now I'm working with people who are 10 years younger, 15 years younger to me. Now they understand this generation, your generation, right? They understand how they think. So when you get into a meeting, a sales pitch, they will talk that language. Now it may not always resonate with the other person, because other person may be from my generation, but that person has a team which is again coinciding with the thought process of the person who is pitching, right? So I have a lot of learning with working with these group of people. So in my personal opinion, learning never stops.
True.
And with all this AI and mobile commerce and all these coming into picture, you need to learn, you need to be with your peer group.
And pick up from wherever it comes, even if it is from 2-3-year-old salesperson who is out on the market.
So it's not only
probably.
the salesperson. I have 2 kids, 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. I learn a lot of lingo from them, from the videos that they are watching.
Yeah, true.
Right?
I
didn't know what is techno gamer. Now I know what is techno gamer. There are sites that I was not aware of. So they make me aware, they make me understand. I make it a habit to sit with them, dedicate some time to understand what is going around in the world, because you are too busy. You're talking to your people, you have your goals to meet, you have teams to talk to, you have interviews like this which are on your card. So how efficiently would you be able to connect to the world which you are living right now? Because world is evolving, right? So you need to. So I have a 80-year-old father-in-law. I have a 5-year-old son, and then I have my wife, which is a similar age. So I have different categories.
Different
yes,
generation.
and you need to understand the psyche of all these generations, especially in sales, because you'll be dealing with all these generally, right? You will be dealing with the CEO or a founder of the organization who has been doing business for last 60 years.
Or somebody who just
just started.
below 30 founder
correct,
also.
Correct, a new founder, energetic founder. They have made a unicorn out of it. They are not even 30, right? So you need to understand the psyche, how they think, and you need to invest time there. So I think to answer your question, probably
we've got it.
Yeah. It's very much important.
Yes, learning from others is very much important, and not just within our organization, not just from the sales team or from the seniors who are in sales and from other sales people, but we should be able to bring in the real life experiences and
very important
the learning that we had there and apply it to our sales career.
Correct. Very important.
Sales, cool, got it. Thank you. And so, anything special message that you would like to give it to salespeople who are watching this video?
So I think self-care is very important. It's one of my favorite topics now, because not only because I am associated with the organization, but as a whole also. A salesperson is continuously in a stress environment, right? You have targets, you have clients, you have escalations. You have peer pressure, somebody else is closing a deal, your deal is getting stuck. So you are continuously in a stress situation. You are continuously on the move, traveling, your eating habits are out of, you're just eating out of the plates of different people. So it's very important that you take a me time, you take a break, you plan holidays, you work on your hobbies, interests. For example, I personally, I love to garden. Right, so I love plants.
It's a very
so
nice
it also helps you to connect, to nature. I have a terrace garden. I grow different vegetables, and I have fruit plants also. So that is my hobby. And even if I have to be at a meeting at 9, I make sure that I get up at 5:30, 6, because that motivates me. I get up early. I water the plants. I do whatever. I spend at least 15-20 minutes daily in my terrace garden.
Very nice.
And I love to go back, water my plants, because I know that they will be dried. It has not rained. So there is something else apart from work, right? You work to live. You don't live to work. So that is the message. If I want to summarize the entire thing, I think. The selling has to be purpose-based. You should be passionate about it. You should embrace challenges, exceed expectations, and make sure that you take care of your physical and mental health while doing so.
That's really great and fantastic summary. Thank you so much, Ashish.
You're welcome.
And thanks for joining us today for Deep Talk Sales. And I'm sure these insights are of great knowledge and help for many salespeople out there, which would make definitely, which would make their sales journeys better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.